VGK takes a 2-1 series lead as they prevail in Edmonton 5-1. Can the Golden Knights defense continue to shut down the Oilers' dynamic duo like they did on Monday night?
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. We appreciate you making us your first listen. We come to you from Las Vegas Monday through Friday. Of course, that's daily. We are the fastest growing podcast for your Vegas Golden Knights. You could find us on Twitter at LockedOnVGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. Locked On Golden Knights is the place to be on YouTube, where you should subscribe today. What was that?
I was checking our YouTube numbers and stuff when you were saying fastest growing. I wanted to see like our views and stuff and all that.
I'm the marketing guy, okay? So VGK played, Chris, perhaps the best defensive game of the playoffs. Jonathan Marchessault gets off of the schneid. He scores his first couple of playoff goals. Jackie aces a three-point night. And Adin Hill, perpetually in the doghouse, he sparkled in net in relief of an injured Laurent Brossoit. And this game, though, it was about the Vegas Golden Knights defense, I felt, right? The Oilers, their potent duo, Draisaitl and McDavid, were out of sorts in this game. They were -4, Chris. They had but 3 shots on goal combined, and one was that Draisaitl shot early in the first period that rang off of the post. And so VGK does a fantastic job. No goals scored by the duo. What was your impression? What impressed you the most about VGK and its blue line in the game on Monday night?
The first period, it didn't impress me much, to be honest. I thought VGK was being a little aggressive on the forecheck again, which resulted in a lot of odd man rushes, including
3 of
that
them.
Draisaitl post.
There were 3 of them in the first period. Then they settled down.
And then exactly, and then they settled down after that. There was periods of the game, even in the first period, where VGK was controlling the action and certainly disrupting Edmonton to a large degree. And then, of course, the second period was just magnificent. I mean, there was obviously some big saves by Adin Hill, and we hopefully Brossoit, this isn't as bad as it looks, but it's probably as bad as it looks, unfortunately. I think Mike McKenna maybe said it might be like a pulled muscle. Maybe that's like the best case scenario, but I don't know. So, he did such a wonderful job for us. And, now we're moving on to Adin Hill. We're going to talk more about that, I'm sure, later on, of course. But back to the defense, a lot of big block shots. What Brayden McNabb gives up in speed, because he can't keep up with McDavid and Draisaitl when they're going full speed. He can't cut, but he can make some big blocks. When Adin Hill lost the stick, I think Brayden McNabb made, definitely a goal-saving block as he was down on the ground. So Zach Whitecloud did a good job just kind of disrupting things. Of course, he chipped in on the offensive side as well. First defenseman to score for the VGK, I believe, or definitely for either side in the series as well. So,
in the series or in the postseason, did defensemen have goals the first series? No, right? I don't think so. In any event.
So, but either way, it's nice to see, because Whitecloud does have a good little shot. He can pick either the short side or go far side bar down as well. So that was certainly nice to see. And Nick Hague, he's making up for his body, what he gives up in skill, for lack of a better term. Pietrangelo Martinez, they had a much more responsible game as well today.
Yeah, and VGK did get caught pinching early on in the game. They made some good in-game adjustments, I felt. And the Golden Knights, as we said, they settled down. And then defensively, the one major change, the thing that they were trying to do in game number 2 that really didn't work, was pushing Edmonton to the outside. So again, McDavid would just through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. But then as soon as he got there, they collapse in the middle and they kind of push him to the outside. I thought that to me was the best defensive execution, if you will, for the Vegas Golden Knights.
I made a weird comment that took us a while. I make a lot of weird comments, but it took a while to get there. The reference was in the ending scene of the movie Volcano, where they disrupt that volcano going down the Sunset Strip in Hollywood or wherever the heck it was. They actually knock a building down. They figure out a way in a half hour to knock down like a 50-story building. Who would have thought you could do such a feat? But they push the lava flow into the canal, and then it eventually goes out into the Pacific Ocean, and you save Southern California. Yay, good job, Tommy Lee Jones. Same thing kind of with the Vegas Golden Knights. And I think we're referencing the same play where McDavid, he did his dance coming in, right? And he makes a Riley Smith just, look terrible. And that's not a knock on Riley Smith. It's just a plus for what Connor McDavid can do when he has that space. But the defense pushes him outside. He gets a good shot, but it wasn't a great shot. It's a shot that Adin Hill or any NHL goalie is going to save 98 times out of 100. And there was a lot more situations like that where the VGK just simply, they bend a lot of bending, but not breaking, maybe is a good way to put it tonight. And of course, keeping the game level on the ice certainly helped. And this is now 2 of 3 games in the series where VGK has tied at least in the special teams battle. And I said one of the keys to success in this series is if the VGK can tie or win the special teams battle for 3 of the up to 7 games of the series, I think VGK can advance in this series. Well, we got 4 games left if my math is correct, and we've already done that twice. So just one more tie or win in the special teams column, and I think VGK can advance.
Are you saying that the ice is lava? Is that what you were saying for Edmonton?
Apparently it was when your tweet was dynamite earlier.
Which one?
With the you only have too many of them. No, it was with the bad wheel when the defenseman for Edmonton fell down, and that one. That was
and Marchessault scored the goal. Yeah, the wheel came off, blew a tire.
He blew both tires.
Edmonton left a lot of space defensively too. VGK could operate.
They're not a good 5-on-5 team, Tony. Let's say it. They're not a good 5-on-5 team.
I didn't think that was going to be like the key to game number 3, coming into it. I just thought that they would be able to play better in spurts, defensively, at least put some kind of heat. I mean, that goal by Stevenson, I watched the replay. I mean, the puck, bad ice. The puck was bouncing and he was able to deflect it. It just guided in. First of all, the pass from Wah, the diagonal pass, right?
Perfect pass.
It's bouncing around and then pops it in. But everything went right for the Vegas Golden Knights on Monday night. And neither goaltender, however, that started the game finished the contest. So Brossoit, as you mentioned, injured on the McDavid save, going post to post, lower body injury. The thing that I was concerned about, he had hip surgery. That was one of the first things that came to mind. It could have been a muscle. Who knows?
His lower left leg, if you watch it slowly, his glove immediately goes to his lower left leg.
That's where he went. But when he tried to stand up, his right leg kind of crumbled too. Did you see that? So
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, I mean, and then they helped him off the ice, but his left leg was really hurting him.
Yeah, and they said he was using like the walls to get through the tunnel and stuff, like just all sorts of bad. It sucked. And credit the Oilers fans. I guess they gave him a standing ovation as he went off, which was definitely good to see.
They did.
So
I thought that was so classy, and it's
a nice
not
touch.
like it's great that he's out of the game. They were happy to see him. Those are true hockey fans, and I thought that was terrific and great sportsmanship. And then we also saw where Skinner was yanked as Campbell came in for the Edmonton Oilers. And again, we'll have to
spark.
see.
Skinner was fine, just a spark play.
He gave up that. What concerned me, the White Cloud goal to the short side of the post.
Yeah, but a goalie's gonna get beat every now and then. It's gonna happen on both sides. It wasn't a great shot. It was a good shot, but it was a fair pull, I think, but it wasn't more or less about Skinner, you suck, let's get Campbell in there. It was more of a spark than anything. And, let's see what happens, Tony. You were on the Campbell bandwagon earlier on.
Soup. And when he didn't play, I put up the meme, no soup for you, like that thing, that gif. Okay, so I'm Leah Hextall. We're between periods, and you're Jonathan Marchessault. Jonathan, man, great performance. What did you have to eat for breakfast? What
do you have?
He didn't even know what to say. He just said the same stuff I always eat, whatever. training.
So he
day
just looked
live.
at her like that's the dumbest
Yeah,
question
yeah, it was
ever.
really an awkward moment.
ESPN, hey, they're great for hockey. They're awesome. Good job. So another ESPN moment today that was caught, and I caught this live when it happened. They announced the 4th team for the lottery.
Oh, Jesus. No, the
And
13th.
then
okay, go ahead.
And then Kevin Weeks says, okay, and Columbus slides down to 3rd. We're going to go to commercial break before. And everyone's like, oh, it's rigged. They knew
it was so rigged.
They knew already what was
but
happening there, but it's a
so
blunder.
rigged.
It looked bad. Good job, ESPN. Good job.
And then they came back and then they go with the number 3 pick. I'm going, oh, that's got to be Columbus. That would be my guess. I was looking pretty smart.
Sure, got some in-game action on that one.
VGK shows a lot of resilience, regardless of what they had for breakfast and otherwise. I thought the refs put away their whistles, and Jack Eichel had a high stick.
Yeah,
early on, high stick, pretty blatant, pretty bad in the corner.
Yep.
They get into the rush. Eichel to Marchessault goal, and to me, there's
they'll get that one back on Wednesday. They'll get that one back on Wednesday.
Well, there's got to be just some consistency, with the refereeing. And I know Bill Foley was involved. Talk about rigged, because he told the officials. He said, "Listen, guys," he told the refs, "if you don't get more calls going in our direction, I'm going to move you from the Four Seasons to the Motel 6 next time you come into Vegas."
Ooh, Casino Royale, that hurts.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's attached? Is it a Motel 6 or is it Howard Johnson or
whatever?
Something's attached to Casino Royale.
But they did. They put away the whistles in this contest, I thought, and then we saw the headhunting
on both sides. On both sides,
we saw the headhunting on Pietrangelo.
Evander Kane's an idiot. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's supposed to say
Public
that
enemy
or not, but I
number 1.
said it. Like what? And then he's moaning and blankety blanking to the ref like, what are you calling me for? Like, I don't get it. And credit the refs for allowing Pietrangelo to punch him right in his nose after it happened too, and not sending Petro to the box. Like, that's in the NHL, you can do that. In beer leagues, you gotta send them both in that spot. But credit the refs for sending a message. We're gonna take one mindset, and if you want to do stupid poop out there, then you're gonna put your team shorthanded. And Evander Kane actually behaved after that. And I honestly thought, I put a tweet out there when the 3rd was getting ready to start, said, all right, let's basically get out of this period, be ready for it. And if VGK wants to take liberties for what Evander Kane had done in game 2, this is the time right now. You go right ahead and you do it. But honestly, there was very little to nothing in the 3rd period. I saw the Gronk slam by Draisaitl. I don't know what the heck he was doing on that play when it wasn't that bad, but it was definitely
on Barbashev.
Yeah, the cross check where you just like drop to the ground to do it, and then the 2 slashes on Pietrangelo's legs, like come on, like I don't know. It's even worse than the stuff they're doing on Mark Stone's back. But you know what? So be it. And Mark Stone defended himself again. Power play came out of that because there was a high stick prior to all that, and then Mark Stone got chopped in the back, so he just elbowed the dude in the head. And
I thought that was crafty. I thought that was crafty on the part of Stone because he took a guy out with him, and he did. Yeah. I thought it was very smart. That was a veteran move.
Hey, listen, Stone's protecting himself out there. He's, if you go, you take shots on him, he's gonna slash you right back. And in this case, you're gonna catch an elbow somewhere up high, and so be it. Maybe they'll stop doing it. And listen, as long as Edmonton wants to keep going after these quote unquote vulnerable areas, or apparently Pietrangelo is a hated person of the Vegas Golden Knights. Who would have thought? Those one of the softest players we have in that department. Like they just keep going after him right now. So keep doing what you're doing, Edmonton. Whatever you guys want to do, keep it up. Looking ahead, we'll have a preview show obviously on Wednesday leading up to the game, but Edmonton's pretty good after a loss. So VGK is going to have their hands full.
And VGK on the road of late, just doing a terrific job, like 14-0-1, I guess, something like that.
I thought I heard 11-0-4. Either way, it's
whatever it was.
We're multiple digits 0-4. So, people that like to hate on our podcast, you can tell us how bad we are because we don't know that our team hasn't lost in like 2.5 months on the road, but we don't know the exact day or week.
Yeah, we don't care about numbers like that. Okay, so Marchessault, we had a feeling he would be breaking out, had 7 shots on goal in game number 2. We talked about that on yesterday's show.
Lock of the Knights.
And then total last 2 games, 13 shots on net. Now they just need to get Riley Smith going, but he did have that nice give and go play to Zach Whitecloud, who finished.
He had a good hit too. He had a good hit in the first.
He did have a good hit in the first, and then Jackie Aces had a +3, 3 points as well in the game. And then the early response by VGK. So Fogle scores the first goal at 2:45. A minute 56 later, it was the goal by Jonathan Marshall. So his first of the playoffs. And again, that response has been pretty important for VGK to come out. Okay, so they let up the first goal, but they don't let it get them down, and then they rally back. So I thought that was a pretty good sign again.
Shea Theodore got beat on that one, unfortunately, on the 2-on-1. So Shea Theodore and his girl or fiance continue to have a terrible series.
Oh my gosh, it's been a bad series for both of them. And coming up next, we're going to talk about Adin Hill. Is he finally out of the doghouse? Adin Hill. Well, I thought he should have started like tonight, the game tonight, because we are recording.
When you're the last dog in the house, I mean.
Yeah, there's no more dog standing. We'll talk about Adin Hill. We'll talk about goaltending when we return with Brossoit down. Talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. There is no I in team. Of course, we've established this already. There is an I in Chris. There is an I in Golick. And of course, that's why he gets all the pub on this show. And there is also one in Indeed. And that's the hiring platform that you definitely need to build everything. When you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and you can also hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you to do it all. Candidates that you invite to apply are 3 times more likely to apply for your job than candidates who only see it in the search, and that according to U.S. Indeed data. And we get you one step closer to being hired, of course, by immediately matching everyone together. So the employer and the future employee or the quality candidate. Even better, Indeed is the only job site where you only pay for applications that meet the must-have requirements. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring today with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer good for a limited time. Again, claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you definitely need Indeed. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen. And of course, please keep those WTF What the Friday comments coming. Last Friday was epic. It was definitely epic. And thanks for making us your first listen every day. Again, a very good performance by Adin Hill, who comes in relief of Laurent Brossoit, who's injured. And you definitely have to talk about the way that he played in net. I thought his most spectacular save was on the PK, where he stuck his glove out and deflected it after he was going right. He shifts left, puts the glove out. That should be the statue. I mean, whatever happened to those busts from the preseason? You still have those collectibles around?
I got 2 of them behind the camera actually right now.
We need an Adin Hill bust behind us. Do you have those?
There you go.
Oh, those are so bad.
There's Riley Smith.
They're
actually giving these out at all the watch parties right now.
They are, yeah, because no one wanted
that
them.
and the Shea Theodore bobblehead doll. They're giving them out. Before we talk about goalies, I want to talk about.
I thought it was the Shea Theodore turnover doll.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice. Maybe one with his girl like on Instagram blasting the fan base. That'll be next, clown. All right. So going back to the goalies, before I mention Adin Hill or anything, I want to talk about Kelly McCrimmon. Kelly McCrimmon did a great job getting and holding his position, if you will. Brossoit, they put him on waivers with the intent for him to go to the AHL, and he found his game while Adin Hill and Logan Thompson were taking turns, holding down the fortress, so to speak. And then all the injuries happen. In comes Jonathan Quick, it comes Pantera, and just the goalie carousel keeps spinning. So this team is now down technically number 1 in Robin Leonard. We can start there. And now they're down number 2 in Logan Thompson. They're down I would say if you're going to go by the start of the season, they're down number 4 now in Brossoit, but we still got number 3 in Adin Hill and number 5 in Jonathan Quick. So God forbid Adin Hill goes down. We still have a multiple Stanley Cup winning goalie with nearly 100 playoff games played. So, the good thing about the defense is it's a kind of a turnkey defense as far as when a goalie goes in there. I mean, it'd be nice if we had, a Vasilevsky and, or a Jake Ottinger, who a better version of not the playoff Jake Ottinger, but, a better one, but that's not the reality. But we need a goalie that's going to make their layups. And, reminder about Adin Hill's regular season numbers here. 27 games, he goes, starts 25 of them, goes 16-7 with a 9.15 goals save percentage and a 2.45 goals against. And not to put the jinx out there, but he's played about 3.5 periods. He has not let the Edmonton Oilers score a goal yet on him. So, the gap from Adin Hill to Brossoit is honestly not that big. And this could end up, and again, I hate to say it like this, but this could end up being an upgrade in nets, at least numbers versus numbers. So, weird things happen, and Brossoit certainly earned the net, and he earned all those starts. And, unfortunately, the reality is he's hurt and probably done for the playoffs. I hope not, but that's what the reality might be. So Adin Hill could be ready to take over and actually give us a boost there. So, all is not lost.
See, I started to feel that Laurent Brossoit, that Edmonton started to measure him a little bit, right? To where that's why I felt that they should have changed it to Hill. And I thought literally for game number 3, I thought Hill was going to get the start because
Brossoit, there was a shot.
Yeah. Brossoit wasn't at his best in game 2 where they lost.
He had 2 real
5-1.
softies on Saturday.
Yeah. So in any event, yeah, that's why I thought, maybe they would shift to Hill. Hill's last regular season game was way back on March the 7th. And that was the game against Florida that he lost, I believe. And then he returned on April the 16th and has not, seen a lot of action. As we know, he comes in off of the bench cold. And that was of a great concern to me. Edmonton's got to be, what's up with these VGK goaltenders? Because they faced 4 of them in the 4 games in the regular season. And now it's Brossoit, and then it's Hill. We might see Quick. It was funny, too, because they were doing that first period interview about the Breakfast Club and all that. And then suddenly behind Marcia, so we see Quick, and he's already got his gear on. And then
he was down. I guess he was downstairs working out during the game or something right, like that.
But that was the sideline report later on. It's like, oh yeah, like, well, we saw him already. Like it wasn't.
Was Adin Hill? What was he eating while he was working out? Do we have a report on that?
No, probably.
Okay.
What do they eat between periods? I think someone tried to ask Cassidy
pasta and bananas,
season, and he had no time for that.
I remember. So we were at a Chicago Wolves AHL game. We're going way back. There was a delay in the start because there's real bad weather in Chicago. So this heard something really loud outside my door. That was kind of scary. I don't know what that was. So Adin Hill, sorry about that. I just lost my train of thought. That scared the crap out of me, wherever that was. It's late. I'm scared. Henderson, bad neighborhood, apparently.
Oh,
what's that?
Okay. Earthquake?
No. Maybe. Oh, no. Keegan Colstar just took a shot and hit my house.
Oh, all the way from Edmonton. All the way from
Edmonton. So, all right, back to focus.
Canadian
focus.
All right.
So, Chicago Wolves game.
Wolves.
Weather is real bad, and the road team, their equipment
everything in Chicago's rigged.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So there was like a 2-hour delay, but they had to get the game in just the way the schedule was. And finally, like we see the players like just eating these bowls of pasta just to get the carbs going and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if they carved up throughout the game and things like that.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Back to Hill. Okay, spectacular so far against Edmonton and that high-scoring team, high octane, as a lot of folks say. And so in the 2 games, 29 saves.
No Petro.
He stopped 24 shots in the game on Monday night, and he's going to have to be the go-to and the number 1 goalie moving forward. And I don't know, man, just tell me straight. Do you really think that suddenly now, all of a sudden, Cassidy has a lot of confidence in him? Even though he went 16-7, I don't think he got his just due.
At first in the start of the season, there was definitely plenty of confidence, and it got to the point where LT was struggling. So it was basically Hill, LT, and they were going up and back. And then there was a time, it was when LT was, I think it was in this, was it December when LT goes back to back games in California? And we're like, huh, why? What, like that was the moment we started to wonder what, Cassidy's confidence level was. And at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. Listen, maybe there's some with Adin Hill's practice habits. Maybe he doesn't like something about him in the locker room. Maybe just Cassidy doesn't like him. I don't know. And
Well,
maybe we're digging.
remember the Anaheim game where he said he wasn't prepared. So
Yeah.
VGK played the Kings, right? And it was a back to back. And so Logan Thompson started in LA. Next night was Adin Hill. And Cassidy was just so pissed at him because he said he wasn't prepared to play the game, and they yanked Hill. He pulled him that night against Anaheim, I believe.
He had a bad game. Like, get over it, coach. Like,
right.
If that's really what's on his mind, 5 months and 8 days later, then I can understand why Cassidy maybe got fired in Boston, but I hope that's not the case. And you certainly hope all is well right now. We don't need Adin Hill's girlfriend tweeting Bruce Cassidy, and creating another distraction from the wives club up there. And it's just let's keep it on the ice.
It's the wags, the wives and girlfriend. Wait, WAG, wives and girlfriend. Oh, side pieces. That's the S. Defense was definitely the name of the game for VGK on Monday night. We'll highlight the defense when we return right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, we come to you each and every day from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for making us your first listen, your go-to podcast, if you will. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Please make sure that you leave comments because they're always a lot of fun. And we don't take offense to any of your comments. They're actually very fun and very, very, let's say, creative. Very creative.
So let's see. Cole. So the title of the YouTube video on my side was Colasar found out series tied. So let's read through the comments. When you stop chasing, this is some idiot that keeps, I gotta block that clown. Did the same thing, came back to win next four. Sure, you can leave any point during the game during a blowout, blah, blah, blah. Fans leaving. Jay says VGK is in some serious trouble. It's just like that one.
I felt
Kane's blatant disregard on written code. Just stop.
I felt like they were. I felt like they were after the second game.
No. It's a 7-game series, and Edmonton's gonna respond just as well as VGK did. The question is, will VGK be ready for their response?
Again, let's talk about the VGK defense. And I think, again, you have to talk about the way that they got back defensively, the adjustments they made after the first period and the 3 odd man rushes. Then again, just pushing the offensive players to the outside. And when you have McDavid and Draisaitl at a -4, 3 shots on goal, 1 hits the post, no points in the game. Wow. I wonder when the last time was that had happened.
I'm curious what Connor McDavid's plus minus was just in the regular season, as crazy as it sounds. Like, okay, yeah. So bad?
I'm going to guess. Can I guess? Plus 24.5.
22 is the number, but he had 153.
It was 22.
Points. 153 points. I mean, granted, probably 151 of them were on the power play, but it's just remarkable. But the segments about the defense and what they did, we hit this a little bit earlier, right? Pushing him to the outside, limiting the high danger chances. And, I thought Vegas played the right blend of aggressiveness on the forecheck, but also responsible. And when you are more aggressive on the forecheck, there will be odd man rushes. It's going to happen. It's just it's a pro and con to the system, so to speak. And when you go back to the game on Saturday, they didn't get back, and it was just breakout after breakout after breakout, and it just wore the defense down, the VGK defense, where this game, yes, there was 3 odd man rushes in the first, and they were good chances, credit both the goalies for doing their job on them and everything. But after that, it slowed down. And then you wonder if the forecheck is really, I mean, look, Howden had like basically a mini breakaway. What was that in the second period as a result of a great forecheck and stuff. And once you get in the minds of the defense when it comes to those breakouts, whether they're going to get hit when they're making that breakout pass, or, if you got two VGK forwards, F1 and F2, both coming at you to get that puck. So, it was definitely a good game of adjustments. Whatever Cassidy was able to do to just a little bit, just move it a little bit, just whatever he did, it was a small change, but it worked, and it worked really well.
You know what I noticed about Edmonton? Suddenly, they were a little gun shy of shooting the puck. Did you notice that? They kept overpassing. They'd get to the slot, and then they would pass the puck. And even Draisaitl and McDavid were just all out of sorts. For some reason, they didn't shoot the puck when they got in deep, especially like when they had an open shot, I felt, on net. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah. And, when you take that killer instinct away, when they start second guessing themselves, and this isn't an Edmonton problem, this is a VGK problem and a Dallas problem and any other team in the NHL. When things aren't going your way and you start thinking about it versus just doing the automatic plays, the results will suffer. And obviously they suffered greatly tonight, partially for, mainly how well the Vegas Golden Knights played. But, the good defense definitely had Edmonton overthinking things a little bit. And they made some remarkable passes that just didn't connect tonight, where, they were connecting in, games 1 and 2. I mean, they had a lot of goals, obviously, against the VGK in those first 2 games. So, it was good to see. And we held them to 1 goal. We held Edmonton to 1 goal. And on top of winning or tying twice now, the special teams battle. That's a big key to this series. And, you have to win a couple games by keeping Edmonton to 1 or 2 goals. So we're checking a lot of boxes, at least for my personal keys to success and advancing. And all of a sudden, Edmonton, looking ahead now to Wednesday night, finds himself in a borderline must-win game.
Did Edmonton, as the aggressor in game 2, maybe blow it all out? Maybe they expended so much energy in that game that they didn't really have much left. They looked like the team that was back on their heels in game number 3.
They saved it though tonight. They saved it in game 3 though, to be fair. So they'll have it back in game 4.
Okay. The defense, just 3 hits. I mean, we're here applauding them, but they only had 3 hits in the game.
Edmonton's or Vegas?
Vegas. Yeah. We're talking about the Vegas.
What, McNabb and Haig have all 3 of them?
I think so. And then
the defense only had 3 hits in the whole game.
Yeah, you might want to check that again, because
no, I trust you. Well, no, it's on the internet. It's true.
It just looked like an odd statistic, because I was looking at hits and I was like, wow, they only had 3. And then real quick, the penalty kill, more adjustments. And again, playoffs are about adjustments. And we saw where VGK, they were playing sort of a shell. They were playing a diamond the other day. They played like that little box defense, but they were sagging off. Did you notice what they did on the PK on Monday night?
I mean,
They started to blitz whoever was at the point, I think, and they tried to make sure that they pushed again players outside. It was, an absolute key wherever they could to make sure that they didn't get in front of the net.
It was a continuation of the third penalty kill and beyond from Saturday's game 2, where they did ask Cassidy. Again, to quote Alan Snell, he asked him about, hey, maybe we got to change something. This isn't working, in not so many words. And Cassidy said, yeah, we did. And we held him off the sheet after that. So you look at the change that they've made to pressuring that point a little bit, to taking away a little bit more of that time and space. There wasn't all that panic like there was in the other games. They had some great passes. They still had some great power play chances. But, call a little bit of luck and call it a little bit of skill. And, it all kind of worked out. And, maybe Adin Hill was able to find something that just Brossoit didn't have. And not knocking Brossoit, just sometimes different situations match up a little bit differently. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure when Vegas not down the stretch, but when they won that game in overtime, we're going back to, I'm going earlier in the season, actually, when VGK lost to Edmonton in overtime. I think Adin Hill started that game.
That
It was a
was
Saturday
Hill.
night game, if I
Was
recall.
Hill.
And
Yeah.
he gave up the fourth goal, in overtime to McDavid of all people. But point being is he's got some experience against him. And when you hold him to 3 goals in regulation, you gave your team a chance to win. I don't care how bad the goals were that were given up. The team had a chance to win. So, Adin Hill might just be our, the hero of the series when the dust settles. We'll see.
We'll see. Coming up on Wednesday's show, we will have a preview of game number 3. It should be a dandy. It's so hard to predict NHL playoff games.
Stevenson left this game. Hopefully that was just a precautionary where he didn't come back, took a puck up high, hoping everything is okay. They just kept him out because it was a blowout.
Okay. Hopefully he'll be okay. We'll have an update hopefully on Stevenson. And then also we hope that Laurent Brossoit is okay after that, again, post to post move, and something got caught and something might have popped. And again, when you have those hip issues, I mean, that's something too that just never seems to be 100%. He said he had his flexibility better than ever before earlier in the season.
He even made the comment going back to last season when he had to get those surgeries. He played through it for a long time, but playing through it leads to other problems happening.
Yeah.
Which is basically, it got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore, which is why he had to have the surgeries in the first place. So, you wonder how much of that wear and tear could have possibly led to, what happened in game 3. Hopefully we're overthinking this, and hopefully it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know.
We'd like to say thanks to our everydayers, the folks that tune in each and every day to these shenanigans. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.